Thank you very much. Further debate. The member for London West.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I also want to thank the member for Eglinton Lawrence for bringing forward this bill, the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness, Research and Care Act. This is certainly an initiative that the NDP fully supports, and in fact, my colleague, the MPP for Hamilton East Stony Creek, had introduced a similar bill in 2010. As women's issues critic for the NDP caucus, I want to frame my comments from the perspective of reproductive justice. Reproductive justice acknowledges that not all women have the same ability to make reproductive choices. Their reproductive autonomy may be limited by lack of access to abortion services or by lack of social and financial resources that are necessary to have children and to raise them in safe and supportive environments. So this bill recognizes that pregnancy loss must equally be included in the full spectrum of pregnancy and parenting options that reproductive justice includes. So that covers abortion, IVF, childbirth, adoption, and now pregnancy loss. I want to speak for a moment about language. Certainly language evolves, and I congratulate the member for the language of this bill, because what we see here is a long overdue step forward from the term miscarriage, which is how we often refer to natural pregnancy loss. But what the term miscarriage conveys is that there is some fault or blame involved in the loss of the pregnancy, when actually the physicians will tell us that pregnancy loss is most often the physiology of a healthy body recognizing that a pregnancy is incompatible with life. Unfortunately, Speaker, too many people do not understand the causes of miscarriage. There was a study by the American Society for Reproductive Medicine that found 3/4 of both men and women believed that stress can cause miscarriage. 2/3 believed that lifting a heavy object could trigger the loss of a pregnancy, and 1/4 believed that miscarriage could be caused solely by the woman not wanting the pregnancy. The reality is that most miscarriages are not associated with any action or inaction on the part of the woman. Most are caused by spontaneous chromosomal anomalies that make human development impossible. They also occur, as the member said, much more frequently than many people realize. Women who know they are pregnant experience a rate of miscarriage of about 1 in 5, or 20%, but the rate is much, much higher if it includes the loss of fertilized eggs before the woman knows that she is pregnant. But because of misinformation about the causes of pregnancy loss, many women feel shame and stigma if they admit experiencing a loss of pregnancy. We have a society that values the worth of women according to their ability, their desire, and their willingness to carry a pregnancy to term and to raise children. So it's no wonder, Speaker, that women often blame themselves. So by talking openly and honestly about pregnancy loss, which is what this bill does, by talking about the incidence of pregnancy loss and what can happen afterwards, we can reduce the stigma and the guilt that often accompanies pregnancy loss. Speaker, we need to ensure that there are appropriate supports in place to help those who experience pregnancy loss, not only the women, but also the woman's partner and others who cared about the pregnancy. There may be feelings of profound grief at the loss of hopes and plans for a relationship with a child, and the loss of future identity as a mother, as a father, or as a grandparent. At the same time, reproductive justice requires that we recognize and respect that there may be differences in responses to pregnancy loss. We have to avoid assuming that all individuals will experience the loss in the same way and will need the same kinds of support. We have to remember that the social norms of masculinity and femininity that condition women's response to pregnancy loss have an equal impact on men, who are expected to be stoic and strong in their handling of grief, and may actually face disapproval if they display emotion. For pregnant women who have been abused by their intimate partner, and we know that the risks of violence to women increase significantly during pregnancy. We know that the World Health Organization found that spousal abuse increases the risk of miscarriage by 50%. So women who experience pregnancy loss as a result of sexual violence require very specialized counseling and supports to deal with the complex emotions that are associated with the loss of the pregnancy. Before I close, Speaker, I just wanted to go back to what I had said in the beginning about the full spectrum of pregnancy and birth options for women. There is a link between pregnancy loss and abortion. When the fetus dies, a D&C is often required to fully end the pregnancy, and this means that comprehensive access to abortion services are vital across this province, not only to protect women's reproductive autonomy, but also to support women through the loss of the pregnancy. So, Speaker, again, I want to congratulate the member for bringing forward this bill. On behalf of my colleagues in the NDP caucus, we believe that this is an initiative that is important and that should go forward as part of our healthcare system and the kinds of supports that we provide to women and men and families in this province. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much.